Good morning. Yes, Smooth Truck, and that is me and the band. That was uh, that was off the album Tempest of Eternity. Weekend Embrace is that song. And if you go to bandcamp.com, type in Apnea 1, you can have the entire song. That's just a snippet. Actually, it's a what they call it's a raw track. And that was before vocals were laid down. It was essentially the first product before mix. So that way it doesn't, because I do have my stuff on Spotify. That way it doesn't trigger because it's not my publishing company that has that on Spotify. So I get dinged by using my own music. Not dinged, but, copyright claim, and which, just means you can't monetize it. That's all. So Apnea 1. I don't know. The link's in the description there, Smooth. Anyways, this won't be a long live feed because I have a truck to book. I've been kind of struggling this week a little bit with a couple of things. First of all, the rates. The click and goes have just gotten pretty ridiculous. $1.68 for 500 miles. Yeah, going to a dead area. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not sustainable. And it brings me to the topic that I want to discuss as well, about AI and well, AI and how a lot of brokerages. I had an interesting conversation with the broker saying, let me get some. Let me put a low board up here. That way I don't have the flickering screen looking at me. So I hope all is well. This isn't going to be doom and gloom, just kind of a matter of fact. Hey, this is what I'm seeing. And I've made some observations that later on would be confirmed by a couple of sources. So let's do that. So we'll get into, let some people get in here. We'll do some shout outs. You know the routine. And I hope you're all doing well this morning. It is 22 degrees here in good old Springfield, Missouri. Record low for us. We haven't been this cold since 1945 or 49, something like that. And so, let me share the screen. First of all, let's remove this. I'm such an amateur. Oh, look at scary dude. All right. It's like Cassius King live, stealing my mojo. All right. So here's the observation. So think about a football game. Let's look at a football game, professional football, not your high school kids, local game. In the NFL, you have an offensive and defensive coordinator. A large percentage of the offensive coordinators work from above. In other words, they're up in the sky booth or whatever you call it, looking down at the game as an aerial view. That way they kind of eliminate the the fine details, and they're just looking at things that you would look at on a playbook, from circles and X's. And it gives you a good aerial, view. And I believe that that's kind of important to be able to see the forest from the trees, because sometimes the trees are so detailed. Sometimes the little tiny things are so detailed and they're so distracting that you kind of miss out on the big picture. Now, you can be too focused on the big picture. I've struggled with that lately. I've been focusing on too much of the big picture, which kind of can be a downer. And I'm not talking just spot market. I'm talking everything. You know, what's going on with our country's health, what's going on with our mental health, and what's going on with our political health. But we won't get into that. Now, because of this aerial view, the offensive coordinator has, that's how he does his job. And so throughout my, I don't know, 50 years that I've been alive, I was so into the trees that I forgot to look at the whole forest. And here in the last several years, when I started to work on my physical and mental health, I realized that it really kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things. And so I make these observations that make you go, huh, well, that's interesting. Now, my relationship with Sage, whether you like him or not, that is irrelevant. Okay. Sage News Live. He is a broker that helped me get the aerial view on a few things. And in return, I've given him the aerial view of others, such as the AI when it comes to quoting freight. And I noticed last week, and I did a live feed on the small channel about this, about how every platform, every part of the country had this drop in the rates that they were staying on. So you have the rates that they're taking, and you have the rates that they're, you got some leverage. If you got some leverage, you can get a higher rate. But then you got the line that no one will cross on the broker side. And so I want to discuss that with you this morning. We'll do our shout outs. And I just noticed a couple of trends that don't sit well with me, simply because it just means I have to change my strategy. And that's the gist of it, is when you see something that's not working, you have to change a strategy. Just like an offensive coordinator looks down at his team and goes, wow, that's not working. We need to do something else. And that's the beauty of having me as in the position that I'm in. That's why Jeff put me in the position that I'm in. But also, you have to be able to do that for yourself. Like, if I was in my truck running that full time, what would I be doing? And I already have the answer to that. So, anyways, let's do some shout outs. Max Force, good morning. And on time. Thank you. Tennessee Truckin' says early birdie. Smooth, hey Steve. Pigtail, what's up? Truckers Anonymous. Sounds like Biohazard. Well, there's some similarities, but Biohazard was not an influence. Bloody hell, it's cold in PA, heading south to thaw out. Springfield must be 10 minutes ahead of the rest of the state of Missouri. Smooth Truck and Search for What Man? Okay, we already talked about that. Let's see. Desert Okie Pam, good morning. Shannon, good morning. Don, what's up? Rates are tough. It's yeah, we'll get into that. Because look, I don't want to be doom and gloom. There's still money to be made. But there's strategies that have to be put in place. And there are some strategies that if they weren't in place, 3 months ago, then they're not going to get in place now. So just know that. Something, what's up? Let's see. Shannon Stewart, what's up? Pill Rider TV. Smitty, what's up? Morning. Working my way out of New York City right now. That sounds like fun. LVC only going to be 91 today. Yeah, the Pacific Northwest is like, hey, we're hot. Pale Rider, what's up? Jeremy Rice. Shannon's rolling. All right. Everybody saying hi to Shannon. Shannon's very popular. Thorn and Thunder, what's up? Let's see. Jerome. Punt. There you go, punt. Yeah, that's a strategy too. Punt and regroup and see if you can hold the line on the defense, right? Bill, what's up? All right, so I had an interesting conversation with the broker yesterday. So I'm trying this short haul game with one of my trucks because of what the needs are. And I'm holding the line and I have to deal with an empty truck this morning. And so by having access to broker software, I took a look at this lane. So there's this lane that they're only wanting to pay $550 on. It's a short, North Carolina to North Carolina. The whole load is perfect except for the rate. It's a straight through. But it just it's not worth it. I have to do something else. Now, we'll find a load for that truck today, and maybe that same load will be there today. Because this was towards the end of the day, I was having this conversation. I have this broker who I've never booked a load with him that I remember, but man, he is a go-getter. I talked to him on the phone. I talked to him on the phone, and let's just, I mean, he's he speaks English and all that, but I could tell he's not a people like person. He does lack some social skills. Nice guy, seems like, but what I admire about this guy is he has been pressing on me for loads for trucks. He is a go-getter, which is good. He's got the right mindset. He's got motivation right now. So cool. Now, will he have discipline? That's a different story. So he's been bugging me. Hey, you have any empty trucks? You got any empty trucks? You got any empty? So I give him a chance. And so finally had one that was just right. It was a load of pallets. He's like, man, we're trying to move this for $475. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work. So this is all email conversation. Actually, we got into a chat, Google Chat or whatever. Which, by the way, Google Chat can be very beneficial when it comes to dealing with your normal brokers. Just saying, I've utilized that quite a bit. So, anyways, he would not budge. I got him up to 550. I asked for 800 because that's what it's worth to me. Now, with the cost of fuel and everything else, and he said it's a straight through, so you can add another load to it, but I've been bit by that little bug before. So I at least want to cover my daily costs just in case that doesn't happen. All right. So that's why I asked for the higher amount. And I won't say the amount I will do it for, but I will tell you this. When he came up to 550, that's not it. So so he's like, well, now they're not, I have to get approval for your amount. So I come down a little bit off the 800. He's like, so this is all text, by the way, which is what my preferred method of talking with this dude. And he's like, man, now they're not even answering me. Okay, they just answered me 550. They're not budging off it because they know they'll sell this. That was one quote. And the second one is they will probably wait until tomorrow morning to see if they'll move off that. All right. Meanwhile, our truck was going to be empty late last night, so I wasn't too worried about it. I'll find something. I tried to book ahead. I worked on his truck all afternoon yesterday. Specific parameters are very challenging because it literally gives you a small limit of what you can do. But I can deal with it, right? I'm that way with my own truck at times, so I get it. So I bring up my broker software and I look at what that lane has averaged on paying shipper to broker. $1,000 on this lane. Now he told me that 550 they're taking a loss. Ah, yes, the old we're taking a loss. So I see a couple of the same loads posted by other brokers, and they're even lower than what this broker was at. I'm like, come on, people. This is a race to the bottom. This is why I left Landstar. Because agents were cutting each other's throats to get the trucks to move their freight. And that's what brokers are doing now. Their volumes have dropped. So they're going to the customers and they're trying to undercut each other. Because I told this guy, I said, look, this lane, according to my resources, pays $1,000 customer to broker. So either they're not wanting to come off the money, which is fine. That's their business. I don't need the government to step in and tell them they can't because that's communism. Or they've underbid the load. Either way, that does not benefit me. Doesn't matter why. All I know is this guy won't budge off of 550. That was very frustrating. So when you're in a situation where you've got a $4,000 a month truck note and a $2,000 trailer note, and you're stressed out, your spouse at home's not happy with you because you blew through that 20 grand you had in the bank, and you have drivers cutting each other's throats and brokers cutting each other's throats, it could be kind of frustrating. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been educating these brokers, not educating, but at least informing them the stresses that me and millions of other drivers are dealing with. Another situation is I had a digital broker that I have a rep for that I go to bid on his app, and it comes, the counter is lower than the rate that they originally had the book now price for. That particular broker, by the way, is trying to pass loads going to Alabama for $1.85. Now, I think Shannon remembers her trip to Alabama. Alabama's not a great state for dry van to come out of. So when you see low rates going into dead areas, man, that really weighs on your mind. But anyways, I call him, and actually he called me and he's like, yeah, man, so what's going on is the computer does this and the computer does that, and then the computer automatically does this and the computer does that. They're taking out the human element to this game. That's how much the cards are stacked against an owner operator in today's day and age. The computer does this, the computer does that. That's what's quoting your freight a lot of times. That's the number on the screen that the guy that you called or the guy or gal that you called is ordered not to go below. Because a lot of these brokers are setting their rates based off of AI analytics, and algorithms. That's what you got going against you. The same information that's creating these colors on this computer screen is the same information that's used against you to make sure that they can maximize their profits at all costs. They don't care about your fuel. They don't care about your tolls. They don't care about your truck payment. The computer does not care if you go out of business running their freight. If you're a company driver and the truck owner goes out of business, well, I mean, that owner, you have to be concerned about that. So the owner of the truck has to be on their A game to figure out how to keep the truck profitable, whether it's you in the truck or you have an employee in the truck. And if you're not on your A game, would you work for yourself? If you were, if you were, this is something that you have to think about. If you're a single truck owner operator, would you want to be the company guy that would drive underneath you? In other words, if you wanted to hire a company guy, would you work for yourself on how you handle your business? Morning. So now back to the broker story of the low rate. I said, so he proceeds to tell me after I told him the average rate for shipper to broker, and he said, well, I think we've undercut a couple of brokers to get this freight. I don't understand it. I don't know what to do. So that revealed to me that my hunches were right because I've been looking at this AI thing for a couple of weeks, and I brought it to Sage's attention, and I think he's going to do a video on it today or tomorrow. I mean, look, as a broker, you can buy the DAT board. There's it'll help you. It'll help you quote freight. And it goes down to how many trucks are in an area at a certain time of day. And it automatically calculates tolls and fuel and all that stuff. Now, if my costs per mile are $1.85 and I do a load for $2.40, that is no different than if a broker books a load or, gets a shipper for $1,000 in a lane and sells it to you for $550. It's the same concept. It's offense defense. Some parts of the year we're the offense, and some parts of the year we're the defense. That's how this works. That's the game. And like you need an offensive coordinator. You need a defensive coordinator. You need those more important than a coach. Coaches just, orchestrate things. It's the offensive and defensive coordinators that have to be good on the fly. And sometimes it takes someone outside of your circle that gives you an aerial view so you can come up with a strategy that might work in defense. So that's my lesson for today. And so if you find yourself, whatever platform you're doing, whether it's reefer, flatbed, step deck, dry van, just know, and you're dealing with brokers that are not budging off of rates. There's a reason for that, right? And it's not just, oh, dang greedy brokers. Because when rates were really good, nobody was, I'm sure they were accusing us of being greedy. But we're easy to justify because we can say, well, fuel's this, fuel's this. Fuel's up 47%, people, from this time last year. Let a cat out. I'm going to do a compilation video of every time I let the cat in or out. I'm going to do that. um, Now, there's money to be made. There really is. Okay. But you have to be smart. You have to have a strong foundation. And there's a lot of people that are in business that shouldn't be. And you see it on Facebook, in the rate pages, in the Schneider pages. And I'll give you a perfect example. Let's see if I can find this screenshot. Yep, that's it. All right. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. So this is from the Schneider Facebook page. Okay. I had my first breakdown last night and called Schneider Emergency Maintenance, which wasn't that much of a help other than calling a tow truck that charged me $1,650 to tow me to the nearest TA. I've had my truck for 3 weeks, and I've already had to have a DEF pump replaced, Tri-Pack Evolution APU fixed, interior light troubleshoot and repaired, bunk heater fix, and a coolant line replace. I've read over the contract, which, good on this person. And SFI offers me a 30-day assistance with maintenance issues, being that I have a used 2020 Freightliner Cascadia. But is there any other assistance they can provide? Can a vehicle be switched out? Would this be a violation of any lemon laws? How can one be profitable when I've had maintenance issue every week to include the day I left the SFI facility in Green Bay? All right, so number one, this isn't a knock on Schneider or this owner operator. Let me make that clear. But what I do want to point out is there is a safety net there. Schneider does cover the first 30 days on his contract of anything that goes wrong. And they also give you the first 2 or 3 weeks, I believe, without a payment, which most people go home and relax during that time. So, but here's the part that stood out to me. The second 2 paragraphs. Is there any other assistance they can provide? No, there isn't. It's all on you. And then the 4th paragraph, how can one be profitable when I've had a maintenance issue every week to include the day I left the SFI facility in Green Bay? That's the homework that person did not do. I didn't do that homework. I didn't realize that one trip to the shop can cost me 10, 20, 30 grand. I didn't realize that. So I feel for this person. I really do. There was some discussion on Shannon's channel yesterday about taking cash advances. It's basically a payday loan, right? Because if you get trapped in that cash advance game, which I've also done in the past, with when I was at Landstar, it can be, it's over. It's over. You need to regroup, go to halftime, go in the locker room, and figure it out. And you can't just go by motivation. Motivation, and LVC pointed this out, and I appreciate LVC as a friend. He pointed this out. He said, motivation only works so far. It takes discipline to create results. Anybody can start a fire. You got a can of gas, put a match, boom. But how long will it burn? That's the true test of a burning fire. That's the true test of strength. And right off the bat, this guy isn't going to make it. Because this last paragraph, he did not do a research. Because what is profitable depends on so many different factors that go beyond the truck. Now, LVC, you might like this part. I watched a Ken Berry video, and no, I'm not going to talk about health, but I will mention something, okay? He talked about the pharmaceutical companies who are supplied by the banks, and Goldman Sachs did this whole deal where they talked about, hey, company that came up with this cure for Hep C, you realize that this is not detrimental to this is detrimental to having a profit margin, right? We're in business to keep, things going. If you cure a disease, you cannot make money, right? Not sustainable money, not money in the long run. Well, guess what? Just about every business that you're dealing with today works off of that model. Truck manufacturers are the same way. Their job is to not create the truck that you're going to pay off and use for the rest of your life. That does not make them money. Just like these automakers, it is in their best interest that you trade your car in every 3 years. Not have that 69 Camaro that can last 30 years if it's taken care of. They don't want that anymore. Was it Ford that had the straight six? I was told that they stopped making that motor because it was too reliable. They want it reliable enough. And so with the quality control issues, the sensors, the computers, and the extreme environments that these trucks have to be in, these trucks are designed to make you just enough money to keep you rolling. Just like the pharmacy companies keep you just cured enough but sick enough to keep you going so they can make more money off of you. And so you have to take that into account when you're buying a truck or leasing a truck, because it's designed to go against you. The freight quote is designed to go against you. The computers are designed to go against you because your financial freedom and profitability does not matter to them. They only want theirs. That's how this works. Now, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that is why it's ultra important to, number one, have motivation. Number two, to have discipline. And number three, how can I face these goals? How can I face these obstacles? I'm sorry, and meet my goals to create a living that I'm happy with. And I don't know if you've been to a truck stop lately. You probably have. I know I have. How many happy people do you see? How many people are content with their lives? Are you happy? There's a lot of evil in this world that's going against you. You better have things right because you're going to need as much strength to get through whatever we're dealing with, whether it be a down market in the spot market or, an economy that's not doing so great or an industry of depreciating assets that are designed to fail and you have to front the bill. All right, let's go back to comments here. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Truman, good morning. Back to OTR. Economy slowing went from 7 12-hour days a week down to 5 at Big Four Parts Distribution Center in south of Detroit. Back to OTR. Well, if things keep going, I'm going to be back to OTR. Edgewood, what's up? Let's see. Bowl of Woods, good to see you, my friend. Wheelburn just knocked the frost off the hood this morning. Yeah, it's pretty chilly. We're 22 degrees here. That's what my computer's saying. TBT, Wheelburner, everybody saying hi. Humans are overrated. I agree. Stuart, AI is much more intelligent than human, is picking up on the trends of humans, seeing that people are cutting each other's throats. Exactly. Thor says, I'm really like being a company driver now. Construction is booming. I'm not convinced intelligence is the right word to use for AI. It's able to analyze more data than human, but is that all there is to intelligence? Maybe it is, but there's definitely no wisdom. Right. Intelligence without wisdom is a dangerous thing. Yeah, that gives you the ultimate aerial view as a blimp. The game is to build a business where you are in the black, to make enough money so you can retire to live well. It's not to build a business so others can live well. That's reality. God, I wish I was smart. Donald, what's up? Trucker's voice. Hit the thumbs up. T-Bone, good morning. 629 cats would like this compilation. Probably. Nothing witty, but it picks up on trends, which is intelligence, and that's what business is about. Wisdom would be something different. Good point, Stewart. It's an interesting idea to tease apart. Too bad the real life implications are terrifying. 2 weeks. What's 2 weeks? They didn't do the research, right? Oh, 2 weeks on the free no payment deal on the Schneider Finance. I hear you. I'm behind on the comments by about 5 minutes. CDN is very late. Chucky, you missed all of it. All of it. Good old 306. I grew up with friends racing one in stock car. Sage is covering AI today. I will be there for that, Sage, says Stuart. All are welcome. Yeah, Sage will put a link out. And you can join the show. I am Gabriel, the all the above. Sorry, I just got here. Of course, you're late. Grafton, what's up? Cash's internet connection. That's why my numbers went up all of a sudden. Richardson's Carrier LLC, what's up? Bill says it'll get worse before it gets better. Look, you got to have hope, right? As long as you're prepared. Look, it's a storm, right? It's going to rain. It's going to get cold. And are you prepared for that? Do you have a jacket? You have extra, fuel filters in the side box if your filters freeze up. Have you budgeted extra fuel for idling if you don't have an APU, that kind of thing. Read the book Rockefeller Medicine Man and his involvement in pharmaceutical company videos also. LVC, did you watch Ken Berry's video? I think it was yesterday about Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs. Late once again, but morning all. What's up, cool trucking? Come on with it. I've been noticing lately the truck stops aren't full until later in the evening. If they do fill up, wondering how many have already left the industry. Well, I believe, let me unshare the screen here. I believe I have an answer to that question. All right, so let me do this. Give me a second here, guys. Nope, that's not it. I believe maybe I didn't. Might not have sent it to myself yet. So let's close this. Bear with me for a second. I got something to read to you guys. Oh, which email did I send that to? This might be different. Oh, here we go. Hold on a second, guys. All right, I'm back. Come on with it. Look at you. Holy crap. I got someone messaging me. Come on with it. Thank you very much. You were very generous. You're going to be the most popular person on YouTube. Keep this up. All right. So this is the storm that we've got going on, okay? All right, so I'm going to share the screen here. And we'll leave. Come on with it. Thank you very much. You are awesome. I appreciate you. Load the truck ratios are still trending downward. This is from Facebook. We haven't hit bottom yet. Week over week, spot loads down 10% and truck posts up close to 5%. Year over year, we are down close to 50%, meaning that there is half as much freight on the boards as there was a year ago, but almost 17% more trucks. There are at least twice as many trucks as needed right now. Vans, week over week, down over 13%. Flats, almost 12%, and reefer, 14%. That's a huge change in just 1 week. It's a new quarter and new fiscal year for a lot of companies. A lot of new contracts took effect at the beginning of the month, and tender rejects are at an all-time low. Tender rejects is what fuels the spot market. Carriers are moving everything they can on their contracts, and there's little overflow into the spot market. Contract rates are dropping too, and after the new year, I expect to see most new contracts in line with spot prices. There will be even less room for brokers to negotiate. And this is a person who has a brokerage and a carrier. So he also sees both sides. So there's still too many trucks. This is based off of Pam's, and that's the only positives about overpriced equipment. The high rates. This is part of the cycle. This is a cycle I've seen for the last 14 years that I've been a truck driver. Rates get really good. Everybody buys trucks. Too many trucks. Rates go bad. People go out of business. And then pretty soon there's not enough trucks to haul the freight that's available. And then the cycle just goes over and over. It's kind of that, weak men create, hard times create strong men create good times, that kind of thing. But two things changed it a little bit. Number one was the SBA money. That kept a lot of businesses afloat that should have went out in 2020 when rates were horrible and volumes were horrible. And then the rates were so high that people had the confidence because they didn't do their homework that they could go out and buy a $4,000 a month truck payment and make it. Hell, I can have a $4,000 truck payment and put a driver in it and make money. It'll be awesome. We'll do this for the next 5 years while I pay off this truck. Yeah, how's that working out for you? You don't have to be an economist or a spot market genius to know that's not sustainable for 5 years. I have no issue parking after 2000 myself in the Midwest recently. Reading is hard. It is. A green eggplant playing the drums with bells. LOL. Oh, man. But thank you very much. Come on with it. Let's see. Hit that like button. I only watch people in the trucking community. Good deal. He's known as the Rainmaker. September 30th, an influx of new trucks, higher diesel, and likely dropping contract rates will all contribute to continued deflation in the truckload market. On the Tim Pool podcast last night, our government, with its infinite wisdom, gained a function of an 80% death rate COVID strain. I heard about that. Of course, that's not anything to do with what we got going on now. Yeah, and if big carriers have trucks sitting, they'll cry driver shortage, which is why they put any meat in a seat. And that's part of the problem. They sell you a dream, and all you're doing is paying the bills for their truck. So let me ask you guys something. What if I say, I'm going to hire you as a driver, but you're going to pay for fuel in the truck if it goes down, but you're not going to own it? Okay, you don't own this truck. You can't do anything. You can't go anywhere with it. You can't park it because my payments are going to be so high. You got to keep moving. But look at all the money you'll make. But you got to pay for fuel, and you got to pay for tolls. You got to pay for all of it. What's my cost being the truck owner? You probably, you experienced guys be like, screw you, Steve. Right? What's the worst that can happen? They total the truck. You are correct, Stuart. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Hey, sorry, I got to drive now, but I'm listening. Hey, everyone. Hi, Fran. It's definitely the same song and dance, just going to last longer this time because the SBA loans. Right. The graph that Snorelord put up a video a few weeks ago of overall credit in America was alarming. Yes, that should be alarming because that's what creates crashes. They also make those to make, yeah. So we're not. I don't know why you guys are talking about that. Good morning from a comfy off ramp. I saw that. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get off here, Mr. Mallory. Well, I mean, it describes a lot, like a large percentage of trucking companies, Shannon. Arter Express is no different than anybody else. All I know is that they sell you the dream of a 1099 with the only advantages from a company driver. And to me, that's not worth it. You know, like now, if you own the truck and you're able to sell it later, you know, as an investment, that's cool. But you know, it's hard to make money on a depreciating asset. You got to remember, this is all the maintenance done on my truck since mile one. Can you imagine if I add up all the money on this? If I averaged, you know, if a truck averages about 10,000 a year, even with the warranty, and you have the truck for 8 years, do that math. 10,000 month, yeah, $10,000 a year, right? But I know it's cost me 20 last year. I barely ran it. But the other side of that may be the same way because the extreme struggle we will be facing to keep some out of the trucking altogether. That's the never plan. That's the never planned that every company offers. Sure, come on over and pay off our truck for us and work yourself to the bone. You'll never own a thing. Mrs. Nevada, what's up, Fran? You're paying for the truck whether you lease your company, right? Look, oh man, I paid $99 just to say hi to Shannon. Anybody else you want to say hi to? That's awesome. Thank you very much. You're gonna pass up Thomas Wilson here before too long. Thank God for good credit. That's my safety net. Yeah, but what if that credit runs out? I've played that game till the tax man comes, right? So, anyways, guys, that's it for today. We can go over some low board stuff here real quick. Let me X out of this. Session pause. Let's share the screen. Again, thank you. Come on with it, Bill. I appreciate you. All right, so here's load availability. Let's shrink that up. Let's do van first. Now the AI I was talking about earlier, good volumes doesn't equate to good rates, and that's what I'm struggling with right now. But I'm definitely not taking a bad rate to a worse area. That's for sure. So, anyways, here's your van. Green is good, yellow's okay, red not so much. New Jersey's still hopping because of the ports, and then this thing with the Mississippi, that might be an issue. That might change some dynamics. I don't know how yet, but it will if that continues. Utah's lit up, so I'd like to know why. And with the small as low board as 123 is, it could be a particular broker's got a lot of freight coming in and out of Utah right now. Let's see. Let's look at reefer, the second highest popular platform. Say that 5 times fast. All right, so Missouri stays green, Utah goes red. Louisiana not so much either. But these are your now they're fighting on the rates, but eventually, and here's the other thing that I'm looking at, guys. Okay, here's another trend. I keep an eye on trends. And then I want to know why. And so here's where I know that our pushback is working a little bit. Just like the computer stuff, maybe if we can manipulate that ourselves. So here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing in Nevada, I see in here, pay attention to this. What I'm seeing is a lot of loads being passed for 750, 800 miles. Pick up at 9 a.m. today because it wasn't on the board yesterday, or it was, but for 500% less. Now it's got to go, and it delivers tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. and it's 750 miles, and the shipper will not load you early. That kind of stuff. That's what's passing right now, and I'm seeing a lot of that in the van and reefer world. And so that means they're waiting. That means that let it sit on the dock kind of approach might be working a little bit. I don't know. I could be off, but if at any rate, there's some book day of markets out here right now because of that. But it's going to push you on the miles, and that's where Nevada, being a team, can kind of kick that in the butt. Meanwhile, there's no money in short haul. It's all 800 miles plus. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Nevada, there you are. Shannon can make an omelet in 12 minutes. I don't know about that, Bill. Just doing what we can to put food on the table, both for us and them. Let's see. Uh-oh. Sage is going to tear me apart. He's going to let me have it on his channel. Let's see. Nice listening to Big Guy. I got to get to work here and get loaded. Appreciate you. I know we are truckers, but this is not just a trucking issue that's happening on a much wider scale and global, so brace yourself for a dark, cold winter and possibly longer. Look at Chucky, full of great news. Yeah, we need to take care of each other, take care of our relationships. And that's the thing. If you know, if I'm stressed, everybody else is stressed. So, and so dealing with stress is probably the most important thing that you can do as a person. Wow, I got 71 people in here. Holy crap. Hello on another channel, Gary Bates. Let's see. And I do too, but I can't sit here and be paralyzed by it. Just sometimes you just got to look at the hood ornament in front of you and just go. I'm running errands, listening on my 1 day of home time. Might be a trucking addict, just saying. I've been killing it with rates lately. Good deal. I'm on the short haul game right now. An increase in the decrease. Seen a lot of team loads posted as solo loads lately. Yeah, there's that too. Got 2,400 from Columbus, Ohio, to Bessemer, Alabama. Or 2,600. Sorry, I can't read. Trucking is a small part of overall disaster waiting to happen. Well, it's, look, you got to have some hope, man. You got to have, just pay attention, situational awareness, and just keep going. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to Snorelord's house if it gets too dark. Wouldn't a team do better on a dedicated contract for UPS, FedEx instead of bouncing around spot market? In my opinion, it would just depend. I mean, yes, I would say. But there are advantages. I mean, look, they're a husband and wife team. So they can run as, they don't have to run opposite shifts all the time. But like two separate individuals with two separate incomes, absolutely you would want to do the dedicated relay type stuff. But if you're running a business and you want to, just do something different every day and understand the ebbs and flows and the ups and downs of the spot market, then it could be interesting. So it just depends on having your bills where they're at and the husband and wife not getting sick of each other. Morning, Steve. Late to the party as usual. Hope all is well. 70 watching. Yeah, and here's how. Look, there's 70 people watching me, but there's like I watch Freight Waves now, and there's only like 12 people watching that, and that has some really important information that could help you. I call the top bunk. I'm on a Battle Creek to Memphis today, loading now. Those are two good markets, especially with what you're doing. You're a happy camper, yes, because your truck is moving, right? See, and what I'm hearing is plan for things to get worse, save money if you can. There you go. You might have to get rid of that Netflix subscription, right? You might have to find a cheaper insurance quote. You might have to downsize one of your tractors, tractor trailers. Got detention. Excellent. Cassius King, what's up? I saw you went live, and then someone said he had interweb troubles. Correct, Snorelord. You can't sit in the negative. You have to see it and say okay, and then make the best choices with the hand dealt. There it is. That's why Chucky's going to succeed. Right there. Because while I have not been full of good news, it should be, if it's alarming to you, then you have to really evaluate things. But if you're sitting there going, I didn't think of that, let me look about this further, then you go. And again, if you call me wanting advice because you're struggling, the first question I'm going to ask you is, what are your costs for your business and for your home? It's that simple. You don't have to be a genius to be running out here in the spot market. You don't have to analyze all these markets. If as long as you have the right mindset and know a little bit and take the advice of people that are succeeding. You have too big of an audience to quit now. Yeah, but I've got work to do, man. Unfortunately, I'm not like just trucking where my YouTube can pay all my bills. How popular is running teams? I would never do it. I would only do it a husband and wife. If rates his $1 a mile, brokers have to accept $1 a mile plus fuel. Never let fuel consume more than 50% of the rate. And that's what we're looking at, CDN. There are several click and go brokers that are trying to pass $1.50, $1.60 to go to dead areas and out of good areas. So either they don't want to move that load, or they're trying to see just how desperate people are going to get. And the computers are like, people are desperate. So, all right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. Thank you for watching. Bill, thank you for the super chats. I appreciate every single one of you. Oh, I forgot to do flatbed. Here's flatbed. Here's step deck and flatbed. There's your states for flatbed and step deck. Now, if you're interested in a 123 low board, 48065 is my code. You get 30 days for free to try it out. If you don't like it, call me and ask and move on. But if you do like it, if you like the tools, if you think it's a value to you, it's going to be $35 a month after that. So with that being said, thank you for watching. I appreciate every single person in this chat. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Let's build each other up instead of tearing each other down. All right? So eliminate yourself from the drama channels. Build each other up, not tear each other down. Hope for today, or strength for today, hope for tomorrow. I wish I would get my own tagline, in order. So with that being said, listen to the soothing sounds of aggression. Peace.